Bienvenidos a Podcast en Carros, donde sacamos carros exóticos, hablamos con personas interesantes y vamos al lugares cool. En el episodio de hoy estamos sacando el Rolls Royce Cullinan. En el episodio de hoy vamos a recoger a Lintz. Él es un emprendedor de más de 7 cifras. Tiene una agencia de relaciones públicas y él ha trabajado personalmente con Kevin Hart, Cardi B y las Kardashians. Entonces, tienen que verlo.
So we grew the business to 7 figures before I graduated high school. Honestly, a lot of business relates to like just being a sports team where you like go from being a player, then you become an A player, and then you become a coach player, and then you become a coach where you're having to coach. You can't step on the field. You have to coach through the players in the game. No matter how bad you want to go on the field, you just can't. We ended up getting everybody on 3 yachts. And so it was us, little baby, his crew, Blueface and his crew, after just doing 2 giveaways.
All right, we just got to my guest's place. We're here at the Aquí, here in downtown Miami. We're gonna pick him up and surprise him with the Cullinan that we just got strictly for this episode. Let's go. What's up, bro? What's up, man? We did. I got the Cullinan for them. Well, let's ready to get started with this podcast. Let's do it.
All right, guys, we have Lintz here. His story is actually very, very unique. He started his public relations company at 16, correct? Or you started a business at 16 years old. You started the entrepreneur route. Your public relations company named Aquí. You've worked with major celebrities, with it Cardi B, Kevin Hart. Now you've been featured in Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal. I mean, the list goes on. I'm not gonna mention all of it because it's a mouthful. Nice to have you in the podcast, man. Let's talk about your story, and let's talk about all the business that you have started since 16 years old, man. Welcome.
Dude, thanks for having me on here in the Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a fun podcast.
Yes, I try to be different with this stuff. Every different episode, we take out a different car. We talk to a different high-level entrepreneur like yourself. And the whole thing behind this, I just want to tell people your story, just to see that it's really possible, man. You started at 16 years old. You're just a kid that started the entrepreneur journey, and now you've literally changed your life. So let's talk about that. Let's go to the very beginning. At 16, and what got you into that? Number one, where you're from, and let's get about that.
Dude, for sure. So originally from Canada, Winnipeg,
nice.
Manitoba, if anybody knows that, home of the Winnipeg Jets. And I was just a everyday kid, just a average person, so to speak, going through high school, extremely lost in life, honestly. I remember vividly in high school and all throughout my childhood questioning a lot of things, like questioning, existential things too, of like why I'm here, just like being very lost in every direction, not knowing what I wanted to do afterwards. Like some people had their life figured out of what they wanted their life purpose to be. I didn't have that. And so when I was 15, we have so much free time in high school. And if anybody's watching this and is in high school, you can understand how much free time you have. And some people play video games with that free time. Some people do things that are absolutely meaningless. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to start up something with my brother that we could use that free time and do something purposeful. And so we started up a YouTube channel actually initially when I was 15.
All right. What year was this? Like
this was 2014/2015.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And so when we started up the YouTube channel, we thought about, okay, what are we good at? What can we entertain? And at the time we were watching gaming YouTubers, all of the gaming YouTubers, KSI, W2S, and we're we can totally do this. Like we're kind of funny guys, we could do this. And so we ran up a YouTube channel and started posting consistent content 3 times a week for 8 months.
Oh, wow.
And then after the 8 months, we had 120 subscribers, and all of that was just our family and friends.
Oh my God. Okay.
So we shut that down and we're like, dude, YouTube life is not for us. That was a fail. And that's one major life lesson, is that at that time I got completely down on myself, thinking that was just a major failure. Thinking that, wow, I just wasted the last 8 months of my life. I could have used that time to help work a minimum wage job and make a significant amount of money that I could have spent.
Okay.
But what I realized is that the skill set of being on camera, the skill set of video editing from the YouTube channel, the skill set of starting something and staying committed to something lasted throughout my entire life. and I've been able to utilize it all the way up until this point. And like, that's the thing, is that nothing's a failure in life. It's just a snowball effect of skill sets and the lessons that you learn from it.
Yeah, of course. You know, I want to talk about that. And it's actually very unique that you had that mindset at 16, because, and I see this changing nowadays, but society usually tells you, yeah, you're 16, you know, you graduate high school, you should go travel, enjoy yourself, enjoy life. But I really think that, you know, from 16 years old to like, you know, your early 20s, you should be hustling, creating a business, because you have all the energy in the world, right? You have all the time in the world before life really starts to get really serious. And you can use that to, you know, start a business. And, you know, I see that you tried the whole YouTube angle, that didn't work, but you stayed persistent. And one thing that you're, you know, talking about is, yes, it didn't work, but it wasn't a failure. It was a learning lesson, right? Okay, so let's start. Let's keep going. So you've tried the YouTube, and now what's going on?
Yeah. So tried the YouTube, epic failure at that, but got the skill sets from it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we took a hiatus for like 2 months from doing anything. And then during that summer came to me, an idea came to me, my older brother, and our business partner at the time. And he thought of wireless earbuds. Now,
okay, all right.
There were no such thing as wireless earbuds on the market. Like, it seems like just ordinary now, but there was no AirPods, no Samsung Galaxy Gear icons. There was literally not a single wireless earbud on the market. And so we were like, damn, this would be sick, because people use wireless headphones all the time, but not like just in-ear earbuds. And it's like, I want to use that working out. And so we did some research online, came across Alibaba, which is like,
of course.
If anybody doesn't know Alibaba, it's like a wholesale site for from Chinese manufacturers where you can bulk purchase inventory.
Yeah.
And so we found one pair of wireless earbuds, and it was like the only pair on the entire site. Ordered it. We were like, wow, this is actually decent. We could sell this. Slapped our logo on it, and it was just a perfect example of right product, right timing.
All right, so it's actually, I didn't know that about you. So your first successable business was e-commerce.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's what I do.
I know.
All right, so I'm curious, how were you flipping, how were you getting the traffic over to your product? Was it Facebook? What was it?
Dude, so originally, all we did was we created an Instagram page, which was basically a meme page.
Okay.
We placed our product within videos that we created, which were basically school skits, because our target demographic was like the younger generation.
Yeah.
And then we would repost those videos on viral meme pages, like Rap TV, like funny meme pages, like the
shout outs.
World Star.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
And so we grew the business to 7 figures before I graduated high school, 100% through meme page shout outs.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So you grew a business to 7 figures before graduating high school.
Yeah.
Wow. All utilizing social media, utilizing shout out pages from Instagram, which we're going to talk about here in a second, because I know now you're working with like major players on that. You're getting, you know, posts from celebrities, which is very, very impressive. Okay. So you were driving traffic over from meme pages over to your product, you know, hit 7 figures. What did that feel like, man? Before graduating high school? That's insane.
Dude, it's definitely a massive inflation of the ego.
Okay, yeah.
And it definitely wasn't good at that period of time. Where, yeah, you definitely have to humble yourself, because we kind of just had like a straight up trajectory with no airs, where it was like it was pretty seamless, and it was just because we had the perfect product at the perfect timing. It's not like we were amazing like marketers.
Yeah.
We just knew how to get in front of an audience, and we had an amazing product.
No competition.
Exactly.
Nice.
And so it was just perfect timing. And so we scaled that up to 7 figures so fast. But then we got cocky, we got greedy, very greedy, and we just didn't have a full business sense, because, you know, we didn't understand every single aspect of business. It was our first business. And so we ended up making huge mistakes from all of that.
Let's talk about those mistakes. What does greedy mean? What happened? What did you do?
So I think greedy, it can play multiple different areas inside of a business. And definitely over the past like years, I've definitely been greedy in different ways. And it's the number one thing I focus on. But at that time, we were greedy where in e-commerce, the majority of your sales come between Black Friday and end of the year.
Yeah. Of course, Q4.
So, exactly.
Q4 is huge.
Sometimes Black Friday to the end of the year, like our first year, it was 50% of our entire yearly sales.
Yeah.
So it's coming up on the Black Friday season, and we wanted to launch a new product that we never tested before. And we were like, okay, well, if this product sells like the wireless earbuds, we think that will. We need to purchase so much inventory so that we don't sell out.
Oh, big risk on that. Gotcha.
And dude, we were just ignorant. And so we purchased so much inventory.
Without testing it first.
Didn't take into account freight in, shipping costs, holding costs of the inventory if it didn't sell, the freight out cost of shipping it directly to the customer because it was a bigger product. And literally, we ended up taking on debt to purchase this a ton of inventory so that we didn't sell out.
Yeah.
Ended up having horrible sales and then went $300,000 in debt.
Oh my God. All right. I'm curious, what were you doing for fulfillment for that product?
We were using ShipBob.
ShipBob.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you were storing it in the warehouses and they were handling the fulfillment for you.
Yeah.
Okay. You had this new idea of this product. You're thinking, all right, bro, we're gonna go from $1 million. I want to hit 10 million. I'm gonna get a bunch of inventory without testing it. And what happened was it just didn't sell and you got stuck with all of that. Okay, but that was a learning lesson, right?
Huge learning lesson, man. You can't fail in life.
You can't. Exactly. You can't fail in life.
Yeah.
All right. So that was the e-commerce journey. All right. Now I'm so curious. How did you end up in PR? How did you end up creating this amazing company that you built called Aquí Agency? Let's talk about that. So
it was really a transitional point, is that we were in debt.
Okay.
We couldn't purchase any more inventory because we didn't have any more money to be able to purchase inventory with.
Of course, yeah.
And so it was a transitional point where it's like, okay, well, we either go bankrupt or we try and figure out a way to get out of this that doesn't involve us purchasing more inventory. And so we look back and we were like, okay, what skill sets have we developed up until this point? We know how to market, we know how to brand, we know how to create and grow social media accounts. And so it's just easy transition in terms of like, let's start up an agency where we do these services for other people.
Okay, so you took your knowledge from obviously selling these earbuds and utilizing meme pages, and you were like, okay, so at least we know how to bring traffic to a business from social media. Let's take that knowledge and let's bring on clients and sign them up as an agency. It's like a marketing agency.
Exactly.
But you created. Okay, cool.
And I think the major lesson for any single person watching with this point specifically is you don't have to over glorify the fact of what business you want to start immediately, because it really doesn't matter. Like, you just need to get going immediately.
Yes.
Have full 100% focus on that thing. And then you'll learn so many things within that about yourself, about skill sets that you're developing that you can take on to a new project that you might be more passionate about in the future.
Yes. I love that you're touching on that point, because I actually talk about that a lot. Is people get caught up on like, no, I have to do a business that I'm passionate about. When I first started my e-commerce business, man, I was selling products that I was selling like baby products. Like, I don't have a baby. I just needed to make money, man. So like the whole thing is you just have to get started. And yes, okay, let's say the first business doesn't work as well, but you have learned. Now you have, you're less scared on creating your second one or your third one, right? Because a lot of people are kind of scared of, I'm going to create my first business. I'm afraid to fail. Man, especially, you have all this time. So create a business. It doesn't work. Great. You learn. You do another one. Kind of like what happened with you.
Dude, 100%. Yeah. And we were talking about how, like, if somebody's in high school, how they should be like, hustling hard.
Yeah.
And it's like age and risk tolerance is usually directly inversely proportional. So as you get older in age, you're taking on more responsibility. And so your risk tolerance should go down naturally. You start to have a family and stuff when you get older. And so your risk tolerance goes down. And so the best time to take massive risks is just when you're extremely young.
Yes.
As young as possible, because you have as little responsibilities. You can potentially fail like
so many times and then be 18.
Literally, if you're in high school and starting up a business, like investing all of your money in that business, you could fail all the way up until like say 24, not even go to university. And as long as you learn more skill sets than in the real world than you would going to university, say business school, then you won.
Yes, I 100% agree. But this also does not mean to everyone that's not in high school be like, oh, it's too late for me. It's not true. I didn't start my business until I was 27. Well, my first successful business. I tried other things in the past. I used to be a bartender all my early 20s. And, I started the e-com thing and it really blew up for me around 27. But if you're watching this and you're not in high school, don't think that it's too late for you. You can get started. Honestly, all it takes is 1 to 2 years of straight work and it'll change your life. Honestly, it happened for me. But okay, so let's get back to your story. All right, so let's talk about you creating this agency, because I have a feeling it kind of just got created organically, right? So you have this skill now on social media marketing, which is getting leads over to businesses. You start kind of creating this agency. How do you build it to where you're literally working with Cardi B, Kevin Hart? I've actually, worked with you. You've gotten me on Forbes magazine, man. So let's talk about that.
Yeah. So we started with just the core skill set that we knew, which was growing social media accounts.
Yeah.
So we found a real estate investor that was really needing help with his social media. He was very high level. He was making over 10 million a year, and his social media presence was him posting pictures of his pizza that he was eating. It's like, this is ridiculous. And so we immediately leveled up his presence and we got him over 100,000 followers organically just through his content. It was much easier to grow organically through Instagram back then. And then he referred us over to like 10 other real estate clients. And so our initial niche was real estate clients. We knocked it out of the park for all of them. And then all of those clients ended up asking us, what other services can you provide? We started getting asked about articles, podcast placements, TV placements, and then finally celebrity endorsements. So it kind of grew very naturally. Then obviously we started doing more outbound efforts, like reaching out to people over Instagram to sell them, reaching out over LinkedIn, Facebook ads, and then that expanded there. But then how we got into celebrity endorsements is that our clients were wanting to partner with celebrities, but not wanting to pay the massive price tags.
Yeah, of course. My question is, okay, everyone wants to partner with celebrities. How the hell did you get connections with these celebrities? Because you can DM them, but like they're getting millions of messages. Like how did that happen?
Yeah, so this is the cool thing. This is where it's like coming full circle, because this just shows how no matter what thing that you start at the beginning, if you go full into it, you will take things, no matter what, into like future businesses, whether that's skill sets, connections, anything. So in our first company, the wireless earbuds, we were building connections with influencers, meme pages, and agents.
Of course,
So our first giveaway that we ran with celebrities was with the connections that we had from the wireless earbuds days of agents that we partnered with for other various projects. And so that first giveaway that we did was basically a massive cash giveaway. And the whole thing was, listen, all you have to do is go follow this list of accounts to enter this giveaway.
Yeah, of course.
And then we have sponsors that sponsor the campaign. And that's how we make money.
And then you just go to their celebrity and like, okay, we'll pay you this much to shout it out.
And then after the first giveaway, we were able to, it kind of put our name on the map of the giveaways. People were like, oh, wow.
Who was what was the first celebrity that, if you can say
it wasn't just one celebrity. It was a combination. It was Bad Baby, the real Tarzan. He's out here in Miami.
Actually, I know him.
Woody and Kleiny.
All right.
There was like 7 people, and it ended up gaining all of our sponsors 80,000 followers. And so it was nuts. It went super viral. And then we took that and we basically utilized it as a case study for all the other celebrities we reached out to.
Okay, so for everybody that's watching this, that's not really familiar with how a giveaway works, can you break it down for them? Say they come to you, you're like, okay, we're working with this celebrity. How does it work? They pay to be in this giveaway. The celebrity tells their followers, okay, in order to enter this giveaway, you have to follow these accounts and you might win money, correct? Is that how it works?
Yeah, it's exactly how
it works.
It's so super simple.
You're paying to be one of the accounts that the celebrity is telling their audience to go follow.
Exactly.
Like, for example, like I'm The Rock and I go on my story and I'm like, hey guys, I'm doing $1,000 giveaway for everyone that goes and does this, follows this accounts. We're gonna check that you've done it, and then we're gonna pick one of you, and we're gonna give you $1,000.
Exactly.
Correct? That's how it is. So
it wouldn't be $1,000. It'd be like a Tesla car.
A Tesla car, or like something crazy. Okay.
If we did it with The Rock, it'd be something. Yeah, it'd be like a house.
Yes. Okay. Gotcha. So then, someone that's looking to get leads from a business, I'm paying you to be one of those people that The Rock is telling, hey, follow this person. And obviously, The Rock has like 100 million followers, some crazy stuff. So,
Yeah,
so you get your money back that way from the leads.
Exactly.
Right?
And like, for example, if you were to do a direct partnership with The Rock, where like
Yeah.
he posted an Instagram post for you, he'd probably charge like $1 million.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that compared to like, say, a sponsorship cost with The Rock would be like maybe 10,000.
Yeah,
And so
wow.
you're paying like a fraction of the
fraction.
cost because it's separated across like many giveaway sponsors.
I'm curious, what incentivizes a celebrity to want to do this? Like, is it?
It's actually one of the only business models. That's why we went so hard into it, where it's like a win-win-win for everybody in the transaction.
Because they're giving back to their followers, right?
Yeah,
and they're also obviously making some sort of money.
A large
amount of money from it. Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. And it doesn't look so salesy. They're like, yeah, I'm giving back to my, to my followers. I'm doing a giveaway. Cool. Awesome, man. So you started with the e-com. You learned on how to get traffic to business that way. Then you started niche with real estate. One real estate agent that turned to 10 that wanted all these extra services. And there you saw a business. You're like, okay, we can really do more than just real estate agents, right? How did you start scaling that to now you're literally working with everybody that has an online business or more?
Yeah, I think the main point there was doing what we didn't do with the earbuds, where we didn't listen to our clients back then.
Okay.
And so what happened was when we released the product, got greedy. We didn't test the product in the marketplace beforehand. But what we did with our agency is when we were getting on new clients, we were asking our clients, like, what types of services are you wanting?
Yeah.
And then we were asking them for referrals because of the good products that we were having. And so it just like naturally grew through that. For sure, there was like hiccups, definitely like lost money making stupid purchasing decisions. But in comparison to the first business, like we haven't made any massive drastic mistakes.
Yeah, I mean the PR, everyone always needs good coverage, whether it is on articles, on TV, and all that. So I'm curious. So you got the celebrities. Now, obviously, you can get me on Forbes and all that. How did you get the connections in order to get into Forbes magazine and all those huge, obviously, news outlets?
Yeah, so those connections were made through many different ways. The traditional sense in PR was kind of, PR's been around for like 100 years
yeah,
now.
Of course.
And
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's massive. And
yeah.
Traditionally how PR has been is like whining and dining journalists, like whining and dining article companies, like literally being in New York, for example, taking them out for dinner, for example. For us, it's mainly just been building like mutually beneficial relationships with every single person. And so we have a lot of services that every single person wants. And so like if we work with like article companies and stuff, we can provide them services and then they can provide us services back for our clients. And so
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like
so that's
you're an article company, like, listen, I need some more exposure on social media. They come to you. Like, listen, we have connections with these celebrities.
Exactly.
Gotcha. All right.
What I've realized in terms of making connections is that if you really want to get in touch with somebody, it's not that hard. Yeah. Like, it's not that hard between Instagram DMs. I knew you were saying about Instagram DMs, and sure, celebrities get like a massive amount of DMs, but we set up a giveaway with Lil Baby just by me sending him an Instagram DM.
Wow, really? Lil Baby. Yeah, I know you have that picture of you and Lil Baby on Instagram.
I sent him a DM and I'm like, I have a money bag emoji for you. That's it. That was the intro. And
and he replied to that?
Yeah, and then we ended up setting up a deal from it. And there were other, 6ix9ine was one that we set up through the Instagram DMs. Nice. And so it's crazy. Like, people underutilize in terms of, underestimate their ability to be able to connect with somebody through just outreach. Like, if you want to get connected with somebody, like, you have LinkedIn, Instagram DMs, you have email outreach that you can use as scraping software to get the person's email. You can call the person's company. You can send them some sort of gift. Like, if you really want to get in touch with somebody, you can.
Cool. All right. So how does your service work? Someone is coming, for example, I want to get put on those giveaways. I'm also looking to get on an article. How does someone get a hold of you? How does that business model work for you? For anyone that's interested in watching this, maybe you have a business, or maybe you're looking to grow your Instagram presence. How do they get a hold of you and all that?
Yeah. So when we first started, we were working with real estate. Yeah. And then from that, we expanded to other industries. And then it got to a point where it was about 2 years ago. It got to a point where we looked at our client roster and we're like, wow, these people have nothing in common. Like we're working all over the map. We're working with like some OnlyFans models.
No way.
Yeah. We're working with like the highest level business owners. We're working with lawyers. This shit doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And so we took a step back and we're like, listen, we need to nail down on who are the clients we're servicing best. Who are the clients who are getting like the best results and who are the easiest to work with. And so we really narrowed it down where right now we're working with 7+ figure entrepreneurs that are either trying to grow their personal brand or trying to go for some sort of capital raise, because that's where our services can work best. So those types of people, how they come to us is like they say, listen, this is my plan. Like I'm trying to either build a legacy or I'm trying to raise capital. And then we put together a custom strategy for them, either with like social media or print.
So if you are someone doing over 7 figures, make sure you contact him. All right, so I want to talk about, you know, just your experience as a business owner. All right. What are some, you know, major setbacks that you have experienced with building your business? Because obviously you have to build a team, right? What's been the hardest part about, you know, scaling your business, you would say, to anyone looking to, you know, get into this PR world?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't think that this is just like just PR specific. I think it relates to any single business. But I think the hardest part about scaling a business is that as you're scaling and as you're hiring a team, you're having to relearn skill sets and kind of completely forget about the old ones. And so it loses so much satisfaction inside of the business. Like you go from, for example, right at the beginning, you go from doing all of the activities, doing all of the work. And so you get that immediate feedback and the response, and it's so gratifying doing all of the work.
Yeah, of course.
Making money, closing deals is so sick. And
it's so sick. Sales, yes.
So sick. Having an instant sale of 10 grand, like it's just, you don't get dopamine hits like that. And then going from that to hiring people and managing those people, you're learning a skill set of managing.
So hiring the team, like you're saying, is obviously a little different than doing everything yourself.
Yeah.
But you have to be able to step away from doing the everyday tasks. You're not going to be able to scale that way.
You have to step away from the tasks in order to scale, but then you're learning a whole new set of skill sets of managing and having to basically be like a coach of a sports team. Where like honestly a lot of business relates to like just being a sports team, where you like go from being a player, then you become an A player, and then you become a coach player, and then you become a coach where you're having to coach you can't step on the field. You have to coach through the players in the game. No matter how bad you want to go on the field, you just can't.
It's a great analogy, man. I like that.
And then from the coach, you become the head coach, and then from the head coach, you become the manager of the entire team, and then from the manager, you become the owner of the team.
Yes.
And that's kind of like the sequence of events, and you're having to forget the levels at each time, and you can't step on the field.
It's so true. I've did that completely with my Amazon coaching program. I was first the Amazon seller, then I was first, then the mentor, then I brought the team that, you know, that used to be my students that started doing really well with their e-commerce business, that know it. Then they started doing the coaching. Then, you know, I was doing all the sales myself in the beginning. Then I started looking for a sales team because there was too many calls coming in. But I played every freaking role on that business, like everything from DM outreach, I was doing it myself, you know, everything. And that's, you know, I truly think that's the only way to be a successful business owner, is by doing every little position yourself first, so you know what needs to get done.
Dude, for sure. Yeah, when you do everything within a business, especially at the beginning, and you start hiring for it, then you have the knowledge in terms of what it takes to do that position accurately, what a good job looks like, how long it takes, and that's the way you manage things effectively, is by, you know, understanding the position as a whole.
Let's talk about hiring, right? How do you go about hiring the right position? Because I've worked with you and your team. Your team is amazing, so professional. Man. You guys come through, and everything that you said that you're, you know, hey, we're gonna get you on Forbes. I was on Forbes right away, you know, and good follow up. You have, you know, great writers on as well. That's like that could tell my story on Forbes articles. So how do you go about finding the right person for each position?
Yeah. So when we first started the agency, I definitely didn't put an emphasis on hiring. It was kind of just hiring just people in our city.
Okay.
I knew at the time.
Yeah. You're like, hey man, you want a job? Okay.
I mean, it was a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how every single company starts out with like hiring.
Yeah.
They just hire people that they know probably are decent workers and that could potentially be a fit within the company. But then we became way more intentional with the hiring about 3 years ago, where we have a very in-depth process now. We realize that the people are what make up the entire company, especially a service-based business.
Yeah.
Because they're all client-facing. And so now we have a full interview process. We have an in-house recruiter.
Okay.
That basically goes through all applications.
Okay.
So we release a job post. He goes through all applications. Then we review about like 500 applications. Between 500 applications, he goes to a next interview, which is like with one of the team members that is a part of the team that person is going to be hired in. Then it goes to usually my operations manager for a third interview, and then it goes to me. So I review every single person before they come into the company, and each one of those interviews are for a specific like set of things.
Okay. Can we talk about those set of things? You do personality checks on that, because sometimes I hired some people that are just the wrong. They start the right way, but all of a sudden they just turn completely off. What things do you look for on a hire?
Yeah. So the first interview is just it kind of be like a sanity check.
Okay.
Personality check.
Yeah,
so
gotcha.
seeing like what type of person they are, and really making sure if the resume that they have matches up with what they actually did. So talking about their past experience.
Okay.
And then the second interview is going more in depth in terms of the exact job and seeing how they would be a fit for that job.
Yeah.
The person within that department. And then in between the second and third interview, we do a skills test.
Okay.
Some sort of skills test in terms of that's applicable to that role, that would be able to get a quick understanding if they would be a fit.
Wow.
And then the third and fourth interview are really alignment interviews. It's seeing about the compensation. I just want to see if there would be a good culture fit within the company.
Perfect. Take note, guys, because let me tell you, whenever you're building a company, it's all about hiring the correct people for the correct positions, because if you hire the wrong person, it can really, take a big hit on your company revenue. You have the wrong sales team, or you have the wrong fulfillment team, can also obviously, because the fulfillment team is obviously the image, what's your representation of the company. Yeah, you have the best sales team, but once a client comes in and your service sucks, what's going to happen? You're going to get negative reviews. This is why hiring the right person is so important. All right, so we're going to continue the podcast inside on one of these popular restaurants here in Miami. I want to show you. It's Avo. We'll have a little lunch there, and we'll continue talking about your story. Sounds good?
Dope.
All right.
Okay, so we're here in Avo, a great spot in Miami. Grab some cool lunch. So let's continue our conversation, okay? And this is actually a question that I want to ask you. You've been working with celebrities. You've done events with them already. What are some stories, or if you want to talk about that? I'm sure our audience wants to hear some insights, maybe people that you've worked with in the past, or what are some of the wildest stories that you have with celebrities?
Bro, probably one of the most wildest stories that we have was there's this one time where we were setting up an entire Miami trip.
Yeah.
And we were like, yo, we're only in Miami for 3 days. Let's just pack every single thing that we can in like 1 or 2 days. And so we were planning it out and scheduling 2 giveaway campaigns in Miami.
Okay.
And we were like, okay, well, we're also going to do a party as well. So we came to Miami and we were managing all of it. So we were basically organizing everything. Like, we didn't have assistants at the time.
I know throwing parties and doing event planning is actually a huge headache. There's so many things that have to go correctly. All right, so let's talk about that.
Yeah, and so first day, we went to Rick Ross's house. We did a film shoot with him, and it was cool meeting him for the first time. Went to his mansion, and then right from Rick Ross, I was texting Lil Baby, and Lil Baby was coming over. Lil Baby was meeting us at our crib. And we were late for Lil Baby. Usually rappers are way late for us. And so we went directly from Rick Ross's place over to our place, met up with Lil Baby, did the film shoot with Lil Baby. And then we were like to Lil Baby, we were like, yo, we got a yacht afterwards. Like, you want to come on? And he's like, yeah, I'm not doing anything.
All right.
And then so we messaged Blueface. And we're like, yo.
Blueface was popping too.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're like, yo, we're in town in Miami. We got a yacht. We're going to do a tie-up. Want to come? And they both agreed. it was a shit show getting it all together because like these rappers like ridiculous in terms of timing with everything. But we ended up getting everybody on 3 yachts, and so it was us, Little Baby, his crew, Blueface and his crew. After just doing 2 giveaways, and then
with Rick Ross.
Yeah,
wow.
And then we went all on a 3 yacht tie up, and it was just it was super sick.
Nice. Nice. So you tied up 3 yachts, got the celebrities on there.
Yeah.
Super sick, man. Did you charge people to go to that, or just like people, just friends you were with?
Just friends.
Just
yeah.
friends.
Just
Nice.
clients. Yeah.
Cool. Well,
but like honestly, during I'm not sure if you can relate to this, but during those types of things, I had such high dopamine spikes.
of course.
Like you just have.
you're like, oh my god, I'm a celebrity too now.
And I think this is what happens with celebrities is like when they go up on stage and they perform, they have such high dopamine spikes that's unrealistic to the normal world, and so it kind of numbs you to reality. And I felt that like
Really?
afterwards. It was like, wow.
I want more of that. I want to do more of, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a drug where you're just going after that high.
A lot of it has to do with business too, man. Like making like, okay, you did a 10K sale, but then the next 10K sale doesn't feel as good as the first one. You're like, oh, well, a 20K, a 30K. Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
for sure. Yeah, that's just in money in general, where the utilization of money, it goes down tremendously after you make a certain amount. Like it's like 200 to 300,000 profit a year, where after you start making over that, you can't really utilize it to its full capabilities. Like it's not going to make you happier. You just start buying
like
stuff.
there's so many things you can do.
You just start buying stuff that you don't necessarily need. Like the things that like increase your happiness the most when you start making money is like having a chef, cleaner, like taking the necessities away that you don't necessarily like to do.
Yes.
And then after that, it's you just buying nonsensical shit like a nice car like the Rolls-Royce. You don't need that.
Yeah, that's true. So that's some advice for everyone listening, right? Maybe a lot of young kids, they think that happiness is all about, hey, I'm gonna get my dream car and I'm gonna be finally happy. I'm gonna get to $1 million. I'm gonna be finally happy. That you shouldn't be seeking happiness on materialistic things. Yes, money does help make your life easier, which essentially can create some happiness. But what would you say is your advice to young 16-year-olds like you that had just started their their entrepreneur journey, and they're looking for some advice? You were just literally there, so tell me.
When I think about like happiness levels specifically, like I feel like I'm a pretty happy person right now, but happiness isn't controllable. Like you can't just say, be happy. It's a reaction to the actions that you're doing and the type of person that you're becoming. And I just remember looking back, and the times that I was happiest was actually when I was grinding as hard as possible on the business in the younger years, where it's such a strong motivation to get as far away as possible from like rock bottom, so to speak, of where I was at a certain point. And so that motivation gave me happiness of just like working every single day on this one thing, having that immediate feedback because I was working inside the business and like working on all the tasks myself.
It's funny you say that, right? You were happier when you were working like crazy because you were working on your business. Like, for example, when I was working as a bartender, I was working like crazy. I was not happy because it wasn't my business. And now I work like 12 hours a day, but because I want to. I don't really have to, but it's because you want to work in your business. You love to see it grow. And that's really, where the challenges and the happiness is. Now, let's talk about, would you say your first 100,000 a month, how did that feel versus like now, let's say you're hitting multiple of that? Like, how did, like, people always say that, like seeing the first million in your bank account, it's like such a crazy feeling. But then like when you get to like 2, 3, 4, it's not as good. Would you say that's right?
Dude, 100%. 100%. The craziest first milestone was seeing the 1 million in Shopify. That was pretty cool.
Okay, you're like,
that was
yes,
pretty cool.
I did it.
Yeah, and I was in high school, so like
imagine, wow.
It was pretty weird.
Yeah.
I was definitely an ego flare, and then seeing the million in the bank account, that was another big milestone. That was super weird.
I remember when I saw that in the bank account, I was like,
I
actually like just screamed like, I was with myself in my apartment. I was like, I did it. But now it's like, it does everything else after that. It just, it's just like, okay, now I got to worry about doing the next thing and the next thing. But you kind of got used to that.
There's a massive difference between, and people don't understand it, the massive difference between money in the bank account compared to like the revenue numbers that you're making.
Yeah.
And you see so many people flexing online in terms of the amount of revenue that they have.
Yeah,
and shit. Like,
yeah,
I know people that are making 10 mil revenue businesses that aren't even breaking a mil profits. And it's crazy. Like when you have the money in the bank account at the end of the day, like that was a crazy feeling. It was honestly like a feeling of relief. Like a kind of a peaceful feeling where it's like, no matter what shit goes down over the next year, it's like, I could support myself.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
That's a good feeling to get to.
Yeah, that's a piece of advice I would actually have to say to business owners that whenever, you can talk about this too, is whenever you have money coming in, don't splurge on stuff. Because especially with an online business, like things can change like this. In marketing, for example, we see social media changing right now, which I do want to talk to you about. Like the way that you can generate leads for your business can switch like that. And if you don't have enough money saved up, you can freak out and then your business goes under. But if you have a good amount of money saved aside, that gives you time to like, okay, let's see what's happening now, change my marketing, gives you, so you're not really stressed on, like, oh my God, my business is going under, and you end up going under. First. Because you don't have enough wiggle room to give you space to think about how you can change your marketing or change someone in your team. There's so many things that can go wrong. So yeah, would you say that's good advice, right?
100%.
Don't buy a Lambo as soon as you start making $100K.
Yeah.
That's the dumbest thing ever.
I was talking with some young entrepreneurs the other day, and I was like, yo, what's your goals in business? Like, why are you trying to make a ton of money? And one of them was like, I want to buy a supercar. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, that's like a financial milestone that you can work towards. Yeah. But then I just kept asking them why. Like, why do you want a supercar? And I think that's the biggest question that you can ask yourself in life is like, why? If you deeply like question your intentions behind why you want certain things, especially materialistic things, it usually comes down to something that's like very egotistical, where you want a supercar to be able to show off it. Like the reason I bought a Lamborghini is because I wanted to be the first Lamborghini Urus owner in my city and show off. I wanted to drive around, see everybody's reactions. I thought it would like maybe make me more attractive to women. And like, dude, it's just a complete lie. I sold my Lambo.
Yeah, it's true. It's so true. Whenever you don't have it, you think it's different when you actually do have it, right? Yeah. You think that, in the whole idea of like getting a supercar because you're looking to get attention from other people and trying to impress other people.
Attention.
It's not really going to bring you happiness getting the attention from other people, because at the end of the day, people are going to forget about you down the road, so why are you doing that? That's the way I always think about it. Like, why would you want to do that? Like, to impress someone that you don't even know or really cares about you, and you're going to be attracting the wrong type of people to you anyways, I would say. Even though this show is called Podcasts and Cars, and yes, it is nice to go around in a nice car. I'm not going to say it's not, but you should really get like a nice car where you can buy 10 of them. That's what I would say.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that it's something that, yes, maybe you do like cars and get them because you like cars, not because you're trying to impress other people.
No, see, this is the huge difference, is because there's genuine people that have a deep desire and love for cars.
Yeah.
But then there's other people who are just trying to seek validation from others by having nice cars.
Yeah.
And they use social media, for example, where this is actually a huge thing, is that social media puts other people's goals and other people's dreams and ambitions in your mind when you watch social media. It puts you in a comparison mindset. And so usually people don't even know what their actual true dreams and goals are.
Yeah.
So they see other people with these nice cars and they're like, okay, that's going to be my dream. That's going to be my goal, when it's not actually their true self.
Comparison is a thief of joy. If you're always out there comparing your life with somebody else's, there's always going to be a better car. There's always going to be a hotter chick. No matter what, it's just an endless spit. So I would say, yes, it's good to have ambition because you always want to keep growing as a human. But it's important to know that you are enough for what you have, and you should be grateful for the things that have happened. I mean, it's always good to look up, but some people just get caught up in that. And they get on that competition, like, oh my God, my competitor had just bought $1 million car. Like, I want to do that too. Or you're unhappy because you don't have that. And you forget that you just built a business to 100, 200,000. It's still like crazy achievement, And I think being appreciative of what you worked will even bring more abundance to your business. And I mean, and I think the best thing, money that I ever spent has been on my family. I think that's the best money I've ever done. I bought my mom an apartment, and that's the best freaking, money that I ever spent personally. But yeah, so I want to circle back what we were talking about earlier, was the change in social media, right? And I know I see you making content about this, and coming from someone that generates leads for my business from Instagram, YouTube, and all this stuff, I've seen a crazy change on it, and I want you to talk about that, because I've seen your content on it. It was back in the days, you could just talk about your business and you would get leads. Now, no one cares about that, because people are tired of getting pitched over and over business things. So let's talk about the importance of building a personal brand, right? And making content around more yourself, more around your team, and so on. Let's talk about
it. It comes down to the base level of why any single person watches content on social media. And it's usually, it comes down to 3 pillars. It's educational.
Yeah.
So educational, where like you're giving off knowledge of some sort. It's entertaining.
Yeah.
And then there's one other one, but I forget. But it's mainly educational or entertaining that all social media content comes down to. We came from an environment of where like you could pitch so hard on social media, so hard. Like when I started the first business in 2016, all of our Instagram posts literally had a hook in the caption of every single post.
Yeah,
like that's what it was, hook in every single caption. And what we're seeing now is that people don't want to be pitched. People want to fall in love with brands. People want to fall in love with people. People want to be attached to certain people. And so you're seeing what brands are doing on TikTok. The most successful brands on TikTok are talking nothing about their product.
Nothing.
Like the most top performing agencies are going through like all of their culture behind the scenes and showcasing entertaining content. The top performing car dealerships on TikTok are doing hilarious skits.
Really? Yeah, they're not even talking about cars.
Nothing to do with selling cars. The most successful airlines on TikTok, like Ryanair. Have you seen those memes of Ryanair? It's talking about how horrible their airline is.
Really?
And it's like a joke and a parody, but it gets them so much exposure because it's real. It's authentic. And the same comes true with like personal brands. It's like people don't want to be sold anymore, and people want to get value. People want to see the authentic you. And so with the future of where we're going with like content is like AI is going to be taking over. It's going to be able to make content easily to create rapidly. And so the only thing that you can do to set yourself apart is like sharing your stories and sharing the lessons from those stories, because that can't be replicated.
Okay, so let's talk about that, right? So your company, say someone's doing over 7 figures, you can also help them build their personal brand through the connections that you have. Obviously, if someone is in Forbes magazine and getting shout out by celebrities, that's gonna help build that as well, right? So how does someone get in contact with you that's interested in working with your PR agency, who I have personally used? So anyone watching this, I've used them. They've gotten me on Forbes, gotten on OK magazine. What else? Gotten me on Maxim magazine. I mean, the list goes on. We're still working together. So I highly recommend this guy's agency, because they actually do come through on what they're marketing on online and so many other things. So how does someone get in contact with you that's interested on hiring you or hiring your agency?
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, and if anybody wants to get in contact, you can really just go to the link down below. You'll probably link it, but it's higheyagency.com. So HIGHKEY agency.com. And there's a calendar right at the bottom of the page that you can like book a call directly with my team.
Perfect. High Key Agency, guys. And he is Lintz. Thank you so much for your time, brother.
Thank you, bro.
All right, let's get to eating.